Time for our rising crisis update. Well, we're going to begin with the number of cases here in the United States and around the world. So let's begin here in the United States. 834,340 cases, with an additional 28,568 added since yesterday. 42,501 deaths at 2,185. The worldwide stands around 2.5 million, 90,000 added since yesterday. Slightly less than yesterday, so that is a sign of progress. And sadly, 179,115 deaths, with an additional 7,000 approximately added since yesterday. So some slow growth there worldwide, and a relatively, flat growth in cases and deaths since yesterday. And hopefully we're on the other end of the curve here. But of course, we have to worry about second waves. And as a note of caution on those numbers, given transparency, testing here in the United States and around the world, it just gives you a small, a snapshot of what might be the state of the outbreak.
Yeah, and also important to note that even here within the U.S., different states and regions are going to peak at different times.
Yeah,
so while one area may be beyond the curve, another area may be surging and peaking really, literally right now. At the same time, we wanted to bring you some news out of the Bronx Zoo in New York. In early April, it had been reported that a tiger at the Bronx Zoo had tested positive for coronavirus. Well, now 7 more big cats, 4 additional tigers, and 3 African lions have also tested positive for coronavirus. And they think that this came from a staff member who'd been caring for them, who was infected but wasn't showing any symptoms at the time. So they say that, 6 of these big cats were showing symptoms. One of them was not, that they're doing better. They seem to be coughing less and seem to be on the mend. So we'll be keeping an eye.
Pray for the cats.
Yes.
Apparently 2 other house cats had also tested positive for coronavirus. So I believe the term for this is zoonosis, which is like the reverse human to animal transmission. So it went animal to human, then human to animal. It's an interesting biological system that we live in.
Indeed.
And then in terms of our daily plutocracy update.
Another system that we live in.
Yeah, this is a real system of speaking of viruses and all of that, is a Dallas hotel owner. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. The biggest beneficiary of a coronavirus loan program received $59 million in loans. Well, guess what? According to the Wall Street Journal, his company they've been an active participant, was able to pay out dividends, actually, to their shareholders. And so we're talking about $2 million in preferred dividends from the advisors of these companies in order to now. They say that 75% of the funds that they were going to be taking will be given to laid off workers. They say 75% of the proceeds will bring back our employees, and the balance will be used to pay utilities, rent, and debt service to our lenders. But it just goes to show you that they can still pay dividends out to their shareholders, but they can't hire their workers. Why did they need all that money in the first place? And it's not just them. It's so many different companies. That is really, you were showing me a list yesterday of like all these multimillionaire CEOs, these companies which comped millions in CEO compensation.
Right.
And, now they don't have,
and are getting millions
now they need the PPP program.
From taxpayers, yeah. While the fund runs dry, while mom and pop businesses aren't, and that's the one, it would be outrageous, even if there was enough money for everybody. Right. It would be outrageous that they're taking taxpayer funds and they're still able to.
But at least it'd be tolerable.
Right. Even you could be like, okay, well, that's going to happen. You can kind of expect that that's going to be the case. But the fact that they got privileged concierge service, they were put at the front of the line, in front of all the people, all the businesses that actually needed it, not only to keep the business running, but what does it mean when you keep the business running? It means you can keep people in their jobs so that they don't have to go and file for unemployment. Those people were put at the back of the line. Many, many, many still have not gotten money, still are unlikely to see that money, even with this new tranche of funding. And meanwhile, folks like this guy, they're doing just fine, put at the front of the line.
What makes it outrageous is that there's a cap on the funding, and so that this guy and all the other people who got concierge service from their bank got the money, while normal businesses unable to get them.
Yeah,
and
the banks picked winners and losers.
It would have been slightly more tolerable if it was just unlimited cash and the big guys got their money first and everybody else. It still would have sucked, and I still would have been mad, and still would have been criticizing it on this show. But the fact that they didn't get money and this guy did makes it even more outrageous. That's why we need to lift the cap on that program immediately and push for some bigger solutions. Which
we will continue to do here.
Another conversation for another day. We'll see you guys tomorrow with another crisis update.